Welcome to Hearts of Iron. It is now August 1939. It is time for war. Two quick things before I jump into the actual video. The first thing is I will be adding subtitles because I realize that I speak really fast sometimes, and secondly, I have a thick American accent. Even Google doesn't pick up all of my proper words, so yes, I'll be editing those manually just to help everyone out. Second thing, real fast, and then I'll move on to the video, I promise, is I will be comparing this game more to Hearts of Iron 4, just because, let's be honest, most of you are probably not geniuses at Hearts of Iron 3, but I have played Hearts of Iron 4, so have you probably, so I will be doing that as well. Good. Now, what has changed? Well, I have an order of battle that I made from scratch over here. Now, what is an order of battle? Well, it's just a bunch of lines that connect stuff, right? But who cares? Now, the reason why you want to use it, the purpose of it, is just to give bonuses that you can't get otherwise to your troops. Very simple. And in Hearts of Iron 4, the way it works is you have, like, I think 24, 28 divisions that go under a field marshal. Very simple. But in Hearts of Iron 3, the way it works is everything is in fives, right? So I have 5 divisions here who are under this one corps. This one corps is one of 5 into this army, so 5, 5. And then 5 armies can make up an army group, and army groups get dumped into theater level HQs. Good. Now, there is a lot to say about the details here. The bonuses, each different level of the hierarchy gives different bonuses that go downwards to hit everything underneath it. The most important one is actually the army group level. Why? Well, the way it works is you get 5% supply consumption reduction per skill level, 5% per skill level. So Rommel is a skill 5, therefore 5 times 5 is 25, so I have a 25% supply consumption reduction hitting everyone under him in the order of battle, which includes tanks, oh, it's not tanks and planes, boats and planes in this case. So yes, I have my boats and planes under him, getting that supply reduction bonus, but I will also mention you can put this lower if you want to. The only problem with that is they will get more kinds of bonuses, but they will also probably be at a range part of the time of their mission. So I keep them right here. I think it's the smartest thing to do. Just keep them under army group level, the planes and boats. Good. Now, the second most important part of the order of battle, you might not expect it, but it's the very, very bottom. Why? Well, they decided to put the skill level determining combat efficiency bonus. So each skill level, again, is some additive, it is additive, not multiplicative, some additive bonus to the combat efficiency. So the strategy is you put your very best guy, in this case Rommel, at the top with some good traits that hit everybody. Then at the very bottom you put your other very best guys. These are famous Germans. This is Manstein, this is Kleist, this is Guderian, and so on. These are famous people in the theory of military doctrine of this time period, right? And they're all at the very bottom of my order of battle. They're not necessarily at corps or army level, just army group and division, right? Good. Now, the third most important part, and I won't go on forever, I promise, this is the last one. The third most important part, I will argue, is the core level. Now, it's not obvious why. For example, the bonus you get for the skill level is not that important, for Germany at least. It's combat reinforcement chance. It's not that big of a deal as Germany at all, actually. But what is important are the traits. Because the way traits work, they are also in Hearts of Iron 4. But in Hearts of Iron 3, traits get diluted throughout the order of battle. Why? Well, it's very simple and common sense, actually. You're hitting more units, but if you're going to hit more units, it has to be at a less effect, right? So, for example, down here, this guy has offense doctrine. That is 10% offense, but it's actually higher because Rommel has it as well, but I'm getting a fraction of that for him, so it's actually over 10% for this division right here for the offense doctrine bonus. Therefore, now going back to what I was talking about, the core level, right here, cores are right above divisions. Again, this is a stinky skill, but the traits they have are very powerful at this level. Why? I will give you an example. With some simple math that, yeah, simple math, right? Now, I have full effect of a trait at the very bottom, at the divisional level. This is hitting for 100% effectiveness. If I put that trait on the core level, it's going to be halved. However, when it comes to supply consumption, which is the wizard trait, I could have it on one division for full, or I could have it on 5. He hits 5. It's actually more than 5 because he hits himself as well. So it's like 5 for half. So 2.5 is greater than 1, right? 1 times 1 is 1, and then 5 times half is 2.5. So you want to supply consumption to be at the core level, and actually higher as well. Army and army group, and even Theater HQ. But yes, that's why it's that. But it's actually more than that. People don't realize is that when you put your dummy non-combat traits on the core level, like here, it lets you put combat traits lower on the order of battle, which means they have a stronger effect. So you're getting better fighting divisions if you do it this way, as well as saving more on supplies. And again, saving supplies just means you're spending less IC on supplies and or exporting to import supplies, so you could spend more IC on actual production things that we care about, such as upgrades, reinforcements, and new units. Oh my god, there's so much to say. Okay, the next thing I will say, and then I'll move on, I promise, is that not all traits are obtainable. Some you either have or you don't. So in this case, Offense Doctrine. This is something you have or you don't. And Battle Master is a learned trait. If you don't have it, that's alright. You can learn it in combat, right? What does that impact? Well, it just means that all my good divisions over here have Offense Doctrine, but not necessarily other stuff that I can learn later. So all these guys, I promise, are going to be Offense Doctrine, because you just can't get it later. You want to start with it and add on to it, right? I think that makes a lot of sense. I could go on a lot here, but I'll just stop there. I'll add one final thing. I know I said, yeah. This is not about the actual system, but this is what I did. Now, what I did was I doubled the range of all the HQs. Not for Germany, not for me, really. It's actually for me playing the Soviet Union, so I could, like, hit down here from Moscow more than anything else, but it also helps the AI, because the AI will walk out of range of its own HQs, so I doubled it. As a human player, I will always be within my own range of HQs, because, you know, I'm not going to be dumb, but the AI might be dumb, and it helps the AI more than me, actually. But it is also a quality of life for me to just micromanage that less. Also, I will not be putting brigades on the HQ. I think that's kind of... You can do it if you're a country with not many leaders, but Germany, it shouldn't be a thing, I think. All right, finally. Now for my actual deployments. I have a western wall here. I have 1 infantry division per tile, and then all the way down to the bottom. And then over here by Luxembourg, I have 2 divisions, so I could occupy it if I get there before France, and still have a front line fully clogged up, right? No holes. And again, I have 5 divisions per corps, 5 per corps, 5 per corps, with 1/3 army over here. This is Paulus, you know, famous German guy. He's over here in the west. He's far away from where he was historically, for now, right? Good. Good. And yes, he feeds into the army group. The next army will be Model, and he will be controlling mostly armor divisions, medium armor divisions, as well as some infantry in East Prussia. Now, you may as well just put your best divisions here to get Danzig back fast, because you have a modifier. I'll show you in the next episode about that. And also just because, you know, get to Warsaw quickly and hopefully get out and rotate west fast. Yes, so I have him over here, the first army. Second army is in the south through into Slovakia. This is Schorner. And I will mention again, East Prussia is 3 corps of infantry, so it's 18 units with 15 divisions. Very simple. Now, aircraft, I have fighters all over Germany. Stuttgart, Cologne, Hanover, Kiel. Kiel is more for carriers in case I engage enemy carriers in the area. Yes, then I have last ones over here in Breslau. I don't know how. Breslau, who knows. Yes. And then I have... Okay, so what I'm going to do here before I move on is I like to go... Now, the proper way is to target a region and just spam click like this. Kind of tedious. So what I do, because I'm lazy, I go for the circle, and I just keep going until I reach a border, because you don't want to fly over enemy territory where they might have radar. So I fly over my own land, come over here, maybe further inland, actually, and you go like this, right? You go like that, and you just keep going until you reach a border. Simple. And lastly, I have navs. I have navs up here, which are going to be sinking Danzig boats. The goal is to quickly take Danzig with this SS division. Again, SS divisions have bonus urban attack right there. Plus 20%. It's the best in the game, I believe. So I should get Danzig very quickly. I will kick out their fleet from their port, and they will meet my surface fleet as well as my navs and get absolutely shish kebabbed. Good. And then I have bombers down here as well. I will just be, you know, it doesn't matter. I have some CAS. I'm not actually at war yet, so I can't do it, but I'll do it in a second. Yeah, CAS, tax up here. And transport planes coming out of Berlin. Later, they go from Berlin to, like, Warsaw. Warsaw to... The point is that they go deeper into other places later. But for now, it's just one-stop shop directly from Berlin. Next... Navy, I started to talk about it. Yeah, I have my surface fleet here. Transports will be coming over here, probably for Norway or Denmark at some point. And then I have my subs on the western part of Germany, west of Denmark, because they might get caught by carriers or other allied ships right here, which is very bad, right? Do not fight the allied navy until France falls. You will get shish kebabbed up your Angus. Your keister will get peppered. I promise. I promise. Good. So that's it for, I think, all the land forces and how they're distributed. I'm also making one more SS division. I have a brigade. This is from Austria that I got a long time ago. So I'm going to be making... Okay, there it is. Yeah, I'm going to be making a full division out of this. If I come over here, I will stop making things as reserves and start making them as regulars. So I will put this to the top so I can maybe get this by the time I need to get to Paris, right? Good. That should be it for real. Now, let's go through each screen here because some things might have changed. The first thing I'm going to do is pass Danzig or War, right? First thing is that, obvious. I will also be passing Blitzkrieg. You could hoard this if you want, but that's kind of lame, so I'm just going to pass it now. Good. Now, I will also be going through my trades here, and I will show you the supply map mode. It looks like this. What this means is you are setting convoys across the ocean, which is bad, right? That is bad. So I'll be coming over here. I will be canceling these non-European trades. And why? Well, the reason is because you don't use convoys in your own continent. So if you trade with the USA, you use convoys. They get sunk, it hurts national unity, and then you get pissed because you need to make more convoys, and it just stinks. So I start from scratch. I cancel everything that is not Europe. And how do I know Turkey is not Europe? It looks nicer. Well, the reason is because their capital is in Asia. And for example, the Soviet Union is actually in Europe. And I will show you that right here. Come over to Asia, come over to Turkey, and there they are. In Europe, you should see Soviet Union, and there they are. So yes, if you trade on your own continent, you don't use convoys. If you don't use convoys, you don't lose convoys. If you don't lose convoys, you don't have to make convoys. And if you don't lose convoys, you don't lose national unity. Yes, I'm talking kind of fast here, but I'm trying to rush. Next, the triangle is Romania still. I'm just spending a little bit on that. Very simple. Now for production, I'm going to be keeping an eye on this. I don't need as many consumer goods since I'm at war. I will also be reinforcing a little bit more here because I'm almost done. I have like 6 IC left. What you want to do is mobilize like about a week and a half before the war starts, and then take some time. So I'm almost done mobilizing, but I'm going anyway now. Yeah, so for production, I might have more IC to spend on units, but that's not a big deal. I might make some MPs and put them in big cities like Paris. Oh, and one more thing I forgot about the units. I have cavalry here as well behind the front lines. The goal is to occupy Poland quickly, and they have some good stuff. So the way it works is you can extract resources and manpower and leadership from occupied territory where you don't have cores, but the amount you get is modified negatively by the revolt risk. So the way you manage revolt risk is by having suppression. Again, kind of complicated, but not really. So yeah, so you not only kill partisans, which are these right here, kill partisans with cavalry, but you also suppress revolt risk to get more resources and IC and leadership and everything else. Good. Yeah, so that should be it for this screen, I think. Technology, not much has changed. Oh yeah, what has changed is my officer ratio is not where it should be. I am under officer ratio cap. I'm dumping hard into officers instead of research here because I want to get at 140% pronto. So by the time I get to Paris, I will be not inhibited by a bad ratio, right? So I'm dumping into officers. Other than that, not much to say about this whole screen. I guess I have high practicals, and that's probably why I have low ratio. I'm just making so many things that it's diluting myself quickly. Now, politics I have not talked about in a while because, well, it's not a point. Now, what you could do here is change this axis guy to ruling party support, but you get a threat impact guy, which, you know, USA is a sleeping giant, and pissing them off, like in Hearts of Iron 4, is bad. So you don't want to do it if you don't have to, so I'm staying on axis for now. Now, IC, you could swap to the resource guy if you're running low on resources, since you're losing training partners over time, since you're not using convoys. So if you want to alleviate that problem, you swap the IC guy off onto resources, because not only do you consume less resources with less IC, but you just generate more as well. So like a double dip effect. This one stays the same. This one I swap from espionage to land naval intelligence. You could go pure either one or a hybrid. I go for the hybrid for now. This one you could keep at this one as well. And these have not changed either. So yes, you want to also mobilize before the war starts, which is what I did about a week and a half before I declared war, right? And lastly, the laws. In Hearts of Iron 4, you don't always go on the bottom law, but in Hearts of Iron 3, you kind of always do. It's kind of brain dead, but, you know, it's also quite simple and nice, so you go like that. Intelligence, I don't think anything has changed at all. Nope, has not changed at all. Everything looks good, so let's see, how much time is left? Alright, so the goal here is to take Poland quickly. Again, Poland can't even man its own border. It is meant to fall quickly. It is railroaded so the AI always wins fast and moves on to other parts of the game, right? So I'll be flooding through here with light armor, which is 8.5 kilometers an hour, versus infantry, which is 4 kilometers. Yeah, so it's twice as fast as infantry, so you just rush these VPs like that. VP, like that, like there, or like there, right? You rush the VPs and get out quickly. Then you occupy with the cavalry. Then you rotate the big armor to the west to go through Brussels or Belgium and other countries, Luxembourg, Netherlands, to France. Now, I'm going to try to play somewhat historically, so I will have a historical-ish date for France, but you could be cheeky and just declare war now and take Poland and France out in like 2 months if you want to. But I'm going to wait a little bit. I'll let the UK flood in. I'll let them get big and then see what happens. But it is nasty. It could be very intense. For example, you might be asking, should I cross the plains with a river or go through the forest? You have some intense gameplay right off the bat. Now, Italy, I'm not going to call in. They are very strong. This is very hard. They have bonus IC. I see Alpinis. I see artilleries. I see light armor. I see everything. Motorized, anti-aircraft. They have everything, so I don't need them. I don't want them. I want to do this myself, right? I will go after Denmark at some point as well. Maybe Norway. Norway has heavy water, which I did not mention. It's not that big of a deal, but it's just nuclear research bonus. Speed. Anything else to say that's super duper important? Okay, so what I'm going to do here is take Danzig fast. I'm going to root out their navy, and I'll show you that naval battle. And then I will call in Slovakia. I think they are in the war because they're a puppet anyway. But Hungary, I won't call in until Poland's defeated, I guess. Should be a good game because I have a lot of units. It's hard. It's going to be hard, but it should be very fulfilling. So I'll be back soon.